Today's class will be inspired by Ashtavakra. He is one of the sages in our yogic text, and so we'll be working towards the posture Ashtavakrasana. But we'll get started in reclining butterfly pose, so feel free to have a blanket or any support that you need underneath your head and neck. You can lay back on your back when you're ready. Draw the soles of your feet together. Allow the knees to open out to the left and the right. Also, feel free to support underneath the hips or knees if you need to with blocks or another blanket. Make sure you're comfortable here. Palms might be on your belly to connect to the breath, or on your heart and belly to connect to heartbeat and breath, or anywhere else it's comfortable. But as you relax the back of the body, beginning to come into the breath now, breathing in through the nose, the belly expands. And breathing out from the nose, the belly draws back in. Feel free to work belly, ribs, and chest on breath in, and chest, ribs, and belly on breath out, or any other breathing technique that works for your practice. And as you settle down here for the first few moments of class, allowing yourself to set either an intention or dedication, or just recognize why you're coming to your practice today. So we meet Ashtavakra while he's still a baby in his mother's womb. And in his mother's womb, he's already quite wise, which is what sage can translate to. And he hears his father one day reciting Vedic texts, and he hears him mispronounce a word. So while he's inside his mother's womb, he makes a rumble and a sound to call out to his father that he's incorrect. And upon hearing this, his father gets very angry and decides to punish him by way of handing over basically 8 disabilities. And this is where we start to see the roots of his name come out. Ashta meaning 8 and Vakra meaning bent or broken. And along his journey, Ashtavakra still continues to study and work and practice under the teachings of his father. So from here, start to draw your knees up towards the ceiling. You can add in little windshield wipers of the knees left and right. You can hug the knees in towards the chest, just releasing that first posture that we did. Coming into a spinal twist, crisscross right thigh over left thigh. Feel free to wrap the foot. You can take any other twist, one leg straight, both legs straight. Take some sort of bind, maybe with that bottom leg, and supporting the right shoulder if you need to. You can use blocks underneath the knees or in between the knees, underneath the thighs. Just make yourself comfortable in your twist, turning the gaze where it feels best for your head, neck, and shoulders today. Continue to work with the breath here, maybe breathing deeply through the right side of the body and into your right rib cage. Coming back through center, crisscross your left thigh over your right if you're choosing that variation, or pick again the spinal twist that works most appropriately for your body today on the mat. And do what feels good for that left arm, whether it's out to the side, alongside your ear, alongside your hip. Slowly moving our way into our bodies today. I teach a little bit of a slower flow, so feel free to take longer or shorter in any posture. You can pause or fast forward. Coming back through center, draw the knees in. You can make circles, rock and roll around. I'm rolling in and out of plow pose a few times. You can see the dirty soles of my feet. And when you're ready, start to move yourself up and over to your tabletop. If you need to pad your shins or your knees, you've got a blanket there that you can use. Again, what is your body asking for today, and can you honor that? So, cat-cows, rolling it out, moving forwards and backwards. You can bend the elbows, coming to the fingertips here, trying to get more space. Whatever feels really good for you today. So moving around in down dog here, you can shift side to side, pedal out the feet, bend the knees, making your body feel yummy. And settling into your down dog, pressing into the palms, into your fingers or your fingertips here, stretching your right leg up and back, and then squeezing it tight underneath the body. Place your right foot in between your hands, left knee lowering down as you reach your arms up. The gaze can follow. Hands touch down and then step forward with your left foot. Breathe out into your forward fold, top of the mat. Standing up your way, can add in a back bend at the top if you want to, and then exhale, forward fold. Stepping your right leg back, the right knee will touch down for this low lunge, stretching the arms up. And then hands touch down, drawing your left leg back, top of a plank. Knees lower down, chest lowers, your chin can touch or hover. Slide through to your back bend. And then however you want to move up and back to your down dog. Feel free to omit vinyasas or add in anything you want to here to make this practice really your own on your mat. Stretching your left leg up and back. Squeeze it tight underneath the body. Step the foot down. Move through your low lunge again. Maybe a back bend here if it feels good. Hands touch down. Right foot step forward. Breathe out. Forward fold. Standing all the way up. Engage the legs. Press into the feet. And then dive down into your forward fold. Left leg back. Left knee touches down. Find your lunge. Squeeze towards the midline with the legs. Hands frame your right foot, step back, top of a push-up. Press your body away from the mat. And the knees down, chest, chin. Slide through to your back bend. Really feel the back of the body engage here. Press into the tops of your feet. And then however you want to transition up and back to your down dog. As Ashtavakrasana gets older, he gets to accompany his father as he goes to consult with King Janaka. And so we'll come back to that. But lifting the right leg up, stepping it forward again, left knee down, find your lunge. You can start to play with your variations here. That's this one, maybe interlace the fingers, release the pointer fingers, stretch the arms back, the gaze might go up a bit. Finding a little bit more of a back bend here. You can shift the pelvis forward and down, or feel free to shift back if you need to. Make sure your lower back feels comfortable, engaging the front and back body. And leaning forward, interlacing the hands at the lower back. Shifting the hips back so that you can draw your right shoulder inside your right thigh or right knee. You might need to adjust that right foot out a little bit wider here. And you can take that bind. This can be done with a strap too. As you draw your chin in towards your chest and bow down to yourself. Keep squeezing right inner thigh in. Then releasing left palm down, right arm up. You'll elevate the back knee away from the mat and find a supported twisting lunge. And then tracing your right foot back along the right side of your mat, you'll shift it in front of your left foot, finding a side plank. Keep tracing that right foot back behind you. You'll land it flat back behind you, coming to the outer edge of your left, coming into a bit more of a wild thing. And then lowering your booty down to the mat. You'll draw the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. Stretch the right arm up and out and fold down over your left leg. You can flex your left toes towards your face, place that left palm out to the side behind you or beside you. Laying down here, feel free to use a block underneath that right knee if you need to. And you can sit on the edge of a blanket here, especially if we feel tight on the back of the body. Then sweeping the right arm up and around, you'll rotate onto your right knee, right shin. Left arm alongside your left ear. And then drawing the right knee in towards your chest, a variation of a side plank. Place the right foot back down, left foot back down, hips up and back, down dog. From down dog, you'll roll through your spine, through your plank, your variation of a push-up, your variation of a back bend, and then moving all the way up and back. Find your down dog. Palms placed a comfortable distance apart for you today. Fingers can point forwards or out to the side if we need it for the shoulders. Left leg will reach up and back. Draw it underneath your body. Right knee will touch down. Working into a low lunge. Interlace the fingers, release the pointer fingers. You can bend the elbows to move the arms back behind the ears or beside the ears or even in front, depending on how your shoulders feel. You might lift up out of the hips, getting long through the left and right side body as you find extension through the spine. You might find a bit of hyperextension in a back bend. And then leaning forward, interlacing the fingers if you wish, or using a strap, or no bind. Then shifting the hips back a bit, maybe that left foot out to the left if we need to. Stacking more right hip over right knee to bow down to yourself. A variation of, let's say, a humble lunge. Keep hugging to the inside of the left leg. You can move that left hip back in space if you wish. Then lifting up, right palm down, supported side plank. Left arm will reach up. Then from here, you'll roll to the outer edge of your right foot and drag that left foot out and around. Find your side plank for a moment. Lengthen left side body. And then from here, keep dragging it back behind you. Place the foot down. Your variation of wild thing, maybe more of a side stretch or a back bend. And then from here, lowering down to your booty again. We'll take a variation of Shavasana. Right palm can be off to the side to help you out here. You can press into it to lean forward, folding down over your active right thigh. So thigh engaged, the muscles of your shin engaged. Using a blanket or block if we need here. As you rise up, you'll sweep the left hand back behind you. Come to the inner edge of the right foot. The left knee will touch down for a moment, and then press through that left arm. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Really active right inner thigh. Variation of side plank. Left foot down, right foot down, down dog. Press the back body, stretch it out. Roll through your spine. Find your variation of a push-up. A back bend here if you want one. And then your way, up and back to your down dog. Moving into an active child's pose here. Elevating the elbows and the forearms away from the mat. So coming to your fingertips and walking the arms out. So at this point, King Janaka, who is a king that seeks wisdom, has invited a bunch of his wise men to court, and Ashtavakrasana has accompanied his father at one of these court sessions. We'll stay there. From here, elevating your knees away from the mat, taking a forward fold at the back of your mat. Feet about hip-width apart if you want. Lifting the arms up, finding a variation of chair pose, sitting back, working the inner thighs, pressing into the feet, sitting down as low as you can go, and we'll keep going lower and lower and lower. Keep squeezing inner thighs in all the way down. Find your sits bones grounded down to the mat. You can draw your knees in towards your chest, setting yourself up for your boat pose. Feel free to keep your knees bent or straight. And the right leg's going to lift up, left leg's going to lower a bit, flexing and pointing the feet over and over and over again. Bending the right knee into a figure 4 boat pose. Keep elevating, working the hip flexors, left leg away from the mat, and then draw the sole of the left foot down. Seated figure 4. You can move the seat closer to your left heel if you've got room. You can shift the hips side to side. We want to make sure our right knee feels safe and comfortable in our choice. You can draw the right toes back towards the right knee. And then from here, drawing maybe the back of the right arm, the tricep to the sole of the right foot. If you want to, you can start to lower the right thigh towards the floor. You've noticed I've let my left booty cheek rise up away from the mat to help with that. Otherwise, you could just keep windshield wipering left to right, or grab the knife edge of the right foot and work the leg out that way. Place the right foot down, maybe about 6 inches away from your left thigh. You can work the right arm inside the right thigh, hugging the right thigh back in. If you choose to take a bind, you can. I'm questioning now the validity, well, maybe not the validity, but the effectiveness of binds. I've done it here in this practice, but feel free to do this unbound or bound. Then from here, a bit of a pistol squat. Can you step into your right foot and elevate your booty and left leg away from the mat? You can lean forward to help with the balance there. Then placing your left hand down on a mat or block, you'll try to drag that left leg up and through as you step stronger into that right foot. Into a standing split. Move around in the hip a little bit here, maybe opening up the thigh, closing it off a few times. Then walk the right hand out. From here, try to take the left leg up and out wide to the side, swing it back around to the front, pyramid pose. Place the left foot down, outer edge of the right foot down. Work a hamstring stretch, maybe hands on blocks on either side of your left leg. You might have your hands on your shin. You're feeling out your hamstrings, so legs as straight or as bent as you need them to be. You can flex those left toes towards your face if it feels good. From here, press into your palms, step your right foot back. Warrior one as you stand up, bending into that left knee. We'll mimic what we did earlier, so interlacing the hands above the head, release the pointer fingers. You can find a back bend there if you want to. And then finding that bind at the lower back, bowing down for humble warrior. So pressing through the outer edge of the back foot. You can move the left hip back, or if you want to let the booty go off to the side, just make sure that left knee is comfortable. You might need to step the left foot out wider, that's fine. Feel free to work this with the bind or without. You can draw the chin in towards the chest and really work the back here. Draw the shoulder blades together, back of the body. And then sweeping up and open, find warrior two. From your warrior two, leaning back, reverse your warrior. And then lean out really long in preparation for extended side angle with that left arm. And then left arm can come down inside or outside. Feel free to use a block underneath the left arm, or you can keep the left forearm on the thigh or knee. Stretch the right arm alongside your right ear. And then you'll pivot around to the right. Toes in a bit, heels out if that feels okay for your wide-legged forward fold. For this one, find any bind or hands down on the mat that works for you. Think about engaging the thighs, shifting a little bit forward, maybe into the toes, and feeling the back of your body in this active forward fold. From there, releasing the hands out underneath the shoulders. Turn the toes out, heels in, maybe shift around a little bit. Start to work into your horse stance, and then hands on the thighs or knees. You can roll the right shoulder down, open up left side, come through center, left shoulder in and down, open up right side, and then move with the breath. Left side, right side. And then we'll work into more of a horse stance or goddess pose. Anything you want to do with the arms here. Think about working the knees in the same direction as the toes. You can bounce it out a little bit if you want to. Then standing up tall. Heel toe the feet in closer. And then starting to balance on the left foot. Draw the right knee in towards your chest. Try to elevate that right leg up really high. And you'll make some big circles. Off around to the right. Right foot down around alongside the left. Draw it up as high as you can. Work the thigh. Around to the right. Down again. Big circles. And then hugging the right knee in towards your chest. And binding the big toe with a strap or with your hand. Extending the right leg forward. Trying to stand up tall. Engage the front and back of your torso. Lengthen out of the crown of your head. Then you'll open the right leg out to the right. Work your booty. Find the balance on the left leg. Focus your gaze. Work your breath. Coming back through center, we'll pistol squat down, so leaning forward if you need to. You can reach that left arm forward, stretching out long, maybe find a pistol squat at the bottom there, the hold, and then sitting down. I'm going to grab my blocks to help me out here because I have little short arms, but you can do this without blocks or not. Supported L-sit, press into the arms, palms, fist, lift the booty, left knee into chest, hover the foot, L-sit, press into your right heel, press into your arms, draw your left knee in towards your chest really tight, lower back down. Reset if you need to. This time left knee in towards your chest. You'll try to elevate the right leg away from the mat. Variation of L-sit. Hold it. Extend the left leg out, then lower down. Finding an active seated forward fold. Flexing your feet towards your face. Folding down over your thighs. Stretch out through your arms. And then laying the blocks off to the side. You can step back, roll back, find down dog. Roll forward, your push-up or back bend or vinyasa, whatever movement you want to move through to take you up and back to down dog again. Walk your hands back to the back of your mat and settle into a standing active forward fold, any bind that you want. So Ashtavakrasana and his father are at King Janaka's court, listening to the men, and at one point Ashtavakrasana decides to call out the men. He says basically they don't know what they're talking about. And at that point, all the attention moves to Ashtavakrasana. Roll yourself up into your chair pose. Feet can be about hip width apart, a little bit wider again. And then we'll keep lowering. Lowering, lowering all the way down. Find your sits bones again. Hug the knees in towards the chest, setting up for boat pose. And then find your variation of boat pose. Left leg will lift up, right leg will lower. Can move in the feet or roll the ankles here. Keep hugging left thigh up, right thigh up. Move into that figure 4 boat pose, trying to lift the right leg up high, really working hip flexor, deep core here. Flex the right toes towards your face. Then you will bend the right knee, right foot down, seated figure 4. Can move the booty forward. We can windshield wiper out here. You can just hold this shape. Or we're going to move into that slight twist to the right and maybe bringing the back of the right arm to the left foot. You might stay there. You might connect and the foot might stay with the arm as you open out to the left and roll the left thigh down a little bit. I almost lost it there. So I'm just going to grab the foot and roll it out. We're just getting into our hip, so it can be seated figure 4, windshield wipers, or that opening out to the side. Place your left foot down with space from the right thigh. And then the left arm, I said it wrong just a second ago, will come inside that left thigh. Hug the left thigh in, so work the inner thigh muscles. Feel free to work a bind here if you want. Any variation that you want to work right here. You can open up into a twist, but really work the left inner thigh towards the left side of the body. Coming back through center, we'll try to pistol squat, lift the booty, lift the right leg. Hold that, then the right hand will come down to the mat or floor out to the right. You'll try to drag the right leg up and through into your standing split, and then we'll work a little bit of hip movement. Roll the thigh open, external rotation, roll the thigh towards the floor, internal, and you can just move a few times in and out and feel that movement in your hip. Then walking the left arm out in front of your left shoulder on the mat or block, starting to open up almost into just a half moon shape for a second to draw the right leg up and wide to the right, all the way around top of the mat so you can step into your pyramid pose. Feel free to use blocks here, but you're just working your hamstrings so our legs are as straight or as bent as we need them to be so that we feel that stretch. You can move in and out of it a little bit with the spine. You can flex the right toes towards your face, just feeling the back of the body and the back of the legs here stretch out a little bit. The hands will come down to the mat so that we can step back into warrior 1. Feet hip width apart, one line, whatever variation you want here for the feet that you feel stable. Lunging into the right knee, arms reach up, get long through the sides of the body. Then interlacing the hands behind the low back, fold down, humble warrior. Be sure to give yourself enough space to fold down if you need. You can rest that right rib cage and your right shoulder on your right thigh or fold down inside. Feel free to pull the right hip back if that feels okay on the knee, or if you need to bump the booty out, that's fine too. Keep awareness in the front and back leg. And then from here, you'll start to rise up. Warrior two as you open up. Big long stance, front to back, and then reverse your warrior, leaning out long in prep for extended side angle. Left arm alongside left ear or up towards the ceiling. And then we'll work our way around again to that wide-legged forward fold. So moving to the left. If you want to take a different variation with the arms this time, you can, or bind. I took a headstand. Cool. You want to take a headstand, go ahead, do that. If you take your headstand, maybe play with some variation of the hips being open, diamond legs or split legs. Wide-legged forward fold is great here too. You can use hands on blocks or hands to the mat. Bringing the feet back down if you went upside down. I tap there to my wrist for a second just as an extra challenge, and then slowly coming out of that wide-legged forward fold, especially slow if we went upside down with our legs up in the air. And then moving a little bit through that horse stance setup. Shift around if you need to, feet as wide as you can go in this squat, toes out. Knees can go in the same direction as the toes. Just move around a little bit. Feel your hips, how they're feeling so far. And then work your horse stance, arms, whatever you want to do with them. Standing up, heel toeing the feet towards one another. Balance on that right foot. Draw your left knee in towards your chest and then extend the left leg long out in front of you. Then big circles here to get some movement in the hip. Try to lift the leg up high, take it wide to the left, challenging our balance as well, moving in that balance. So find your breath and your gaze really focused. After the third one, left knee in towards your chest, and then bind up that foot with your hand or with your strap. Work the balance here, standing up tall, lengthening through the crown of your head, opening out to the left. The right arm can go out to the side or be on your hip to help you balance. Coming back through center, we'll pistol squat down. Might help to lean forward or reach that right arm forward. If we've got any knee issues or anything going on, we just sit down. We don't have to worry about the pistol squat. If you pistol squat down, maybe try to have that moment at the bottom with your booty and leg lifted. And then we'll sit all the way down. We'll work through those L-sits again. So I'm going to grab the blocks, but you don't need to if you don't have to. You can shake out the legs, hands alongside the hips. We'll do supported first, feet down, lift the booty, straight through the arms. Think about hugging your thighs up towards your belly, though, as you're doing it. Sit down, bend the right knee, elevate the right foot away from the mat, left leg stays down, press through the arms, try to lift up really high, keep working your breath. Hug that right leg in. Sit down, adjust if you need to. This time, both legs, we're going to try to lift them. Right thigh, hug it in. Left leg, hug it in. Focus your gaze, work your breath. Try to lift the booty, press through the arms. Keep breathing. Right leg out long. Sit down. Forward fold. For this one, I'm taking a block past my feet, but we might be using a block to sit on or a block underneath our knees for support or a blanket there. So find your active forward fold that's appropriate. Rolling up, blocks off to the side. You can jump back, step back, down dog. And then we're going to take another down dog. If you want to move through some movement here, you can. You can roll through the spine. You can find 5 push-ups or 1 push-up, a back bend if you want to. And then you'll move up and back to your down dog. From here, we'll move into child's pose again with the blocks. Knees down, knees can go wide. You'll move the blocks forward and the elbows and forearms can rest on top of the blocks if that feels appropriate. Allowing the forehead to relax down. The arms are a bit more active and you might feel this a bit more in your shoulders than another variation of child's pose, but work your variation. So as Ashtavakrasana has called out these men, Janika basically says, you're a broken man. What could you possibly know? And all of these men kind of look at Ashtavakrasana and wonder the same thing. And he says, y'all don't know. And so at this point, he challenges King Janaka. He says, are you willing to come follow me? And if you come follow me, basically you'll gain the wisdom that you seek. I've moved through some different variations with the blocks here, going up a little bit higher. So you can do that depending on your shoulder mobility today. Again, it might just be a child's pose, arms down on the mat, or with blocks. Starting to release from your child's pose, coming up and back to your down dog. Extend your right leg up and back high, strong, straight left arm. Take your right leg wide out to the right, as high as you can. So a lot of space from right inner thigh to the floor, but really strong active left and right arm still. Then you're going to swing it out to the right, step it forward into a half moon, placing the right palm on a block or floor. It can be underneath your right shoulder or slightly in front or out to the side. Roll open your left chest, left thigh. We're going to play with our balance here, so take a little hop in your half moon. Did you ever try to hop in your half moon? Try to hop and find the balance again. And then swing the left leg out high and wide. We're going to aim it forward, top of the mat, coming back in towards that setup pyramid pose. So stepping it forward, pressing the right heel down and in. You've got that block there. Squeeze your inner thighs in towards one another. You can flex the left toes towards your face. Feel that stretch. And then left arm is going to come inside the left leg, kind of like a triangle pose, pyramid pose, but we're opening up here. You can move that right arm back in space. And then from here, snuggling that left shoulder inside the left thigh, left knee. You can work a half bind or a full bind. If you're working the full, you can step forward into your bird of paradise, right foot forward. Feel free to use a strap here for the bind, or just be working back an extended side angle or towards that bind. If you stand all the way up, you might straighten that left leg if the hamstrings feels okay. Try to stand up tall through the spine, up through the crown of the head, then bending the left knee back down. Focus your gaze. You might challenge yourself to go down slow, left foot down. Step your right foot back. We'll work back through extended side angle, lengthen out, and then rising up through warrior two. Reverse your warrior, lean back, feel the stretch through the left side, and then from here, hands touch down, right knee draws in towards your chest, square off your hips, top of the mat. We'll work that pistol squat descent down again. Try to hold at the bottom, working deep core to keep that right leg lifted. Then sitting all the way down, we'll work into the left hip. You can hug the knee in, you can hold on to the foot, one hand, both hands. Just move around, get familiar with your left hip. You can move it back in space out to the left, and then if you want to work the left shoulder underneath the left knee, you can. Work elephant trunk, pressing into your palms, trying to lift the booty away, try to lift that right leg up. Keep squeezing left thigh in towards left arm bone. Give yourself a break. We'll strap it back on. Work the inner thigh. That's the important part here, because we've got nothing else binding us on. If you want to take the right foot up and over the left foot, extend the legs, squeeze that left arm like crazy, and then bend the elbows like you would a push-up. You can work into your Ashtavakrasana. Maybe pull that right leg back and through. Oh, I almost caught it. Squeeze your elbows in. Your booty's got to go up. That right butt cheek's got to work. Ekapada. And then take the legs back. Lay down on your belly. Big cobra. Fingertips off the mat. Elbows spike up. Roll it up and down. With your breath. Inhale. Back bend. Exhale. Lower. Up and back. Down dog. Are we ready for the other side? Extending the left leg up and back. Really active arms, take it out wide to the left. So strong, active right leg, strong, active arms. Feel that hip work, maybe point and flex the foot, feel that difference. And then you're going to swing it out wide to the left, step it forward. Left hand's going to come down to the mat so you can roll into your half moon. Going to go from one side to the other. You can reach your right arm up or alongside your right ear. Work your balance here. Use your breath. You might want to try that little hop again on this side if you want to. What does it feel like when we challenge our half moon? Do we ever? Or do we just try to hold that balance the whole time? From the half moon, take the right leg out wide to the right. Big circle all the way around, aiming for the top of your mat. You'll place it down for your pyramid pose. Once you get settled in, you can squeeze the inner thighs in towards one another. You've got a block there if you want to use it. You can move or stay static. You're feeling the back of your body here in this posture. And then from here, right arm inside right leg. Think about hugging your right thigh in towards your right arm. Left arm's going to lift up, rolling open the chest. And then snuggling down. Keep hugging that right thigh in. This is going to be important for all these postures. You can stay with this variation of an extended side angle. You can work an unbound side angle. A strap between the hands or a towel is going to give you a bit more space. And honestly, it might be better on our shoulders in the long run. So might want to do some research there. But you've got Bird of Paradise again on this side if you want to work it. That right leg can be straight or bent. Work your balance. Focus your gaze and your breath. Coming back down. Eventually stepping that left leg back through. Or you fall like I did. And we just reset. Extended side angle. Going to lift up Warrior 2. Reverse your warrior. Stretch out long through that right side. Hands frame your right foot so you can hug your left knee in. And then we'll pistol squat down again. All the way down. Try to hold at the bottom. Reach the arms out. Work your deep core. Sit down. And then we're going to focus on the right hip. So any sort of movement here, we can do that seated figure 4 again. You can hold onto the foot. And then maybe elephant trunk. Squeeze the right thigh in towards the right arm. If we don't have the bind, you can work that same else that we did the first time, unbound. So that's another variation for us. Give yourself a break. If we're going to work Ashtavakrasana, you got to squeeze right thigh in towards right arm bone. Place the palms down. Lift the booty in the left leg. Crisscross left ankle over right. Now squeeze the arm with your thighs. From there, you might straighten the legs and bend the elbows. And then you've got to think about really taking the booty up to pull that left leg through your Ekapada 2. Take it back, maybe through a little plank or chaturanga, and then all the way down to your belly. Big cobra again. Inhale. Engage the back of the body. Exhale down. Any variation you want. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Gazing over the shoulders if you want to. Breathing out. Sphinx pose. Finding length through your legs and chest in your Sphinx pose. And then we'll draw the chin in towards the chest and round the mid-back, upper back, and lower back up towards the ceiling, belly button towards the spine, Sphinx pose. And that little bend in, and then Sphinx pose, and then through your tabletop to Child's pose. Feel free to wrap your arms around your body. We encounter again Janaka after he's agreed to follow Ashtavakrasana's lessons. He goes into the woods with his men, eventually gets separated, and finds Ashtavakrasana. And as he finds him, he's about to disembark from his horse, and as he's doing that, Ashtavakrasana says, "No, wait, King Janaka, but we'll have to wait for the rest." Coming out of your child's pose, you can pull your blocks back to help you out here. Sitting back on your shins, blocks alongside your thighs, place your hands on your blocks. Draw your chin in towards your chest. You're going to press through the arms. Try to draw the knees in towards the chest. Hover the feet if you can. Pull them through L-sit. If not, you can tiptoe your feet through and find supported L-sit. Heels might stay down, but booty's lifted. And then we will find a Baddhakonasana. So after you've pulled your legs through or walk them through, soles of your feet together, this first one may be a little bit more of a lengthened spine. You can walk the hands out in front. Here, we might be using blocks underneath our knees or thighs. That's great. Or a blanket or a block to sit up on. I'm drawing a block forward to rest my forehead on, so feel free to do that. But soles of feet together, knees opening up. Feeling out your hips after this practice so far that has been a practice a bit heavy on the external rotation. Rolling your spine back upright. And then we'll work more of a spine rounded position in our Baddhakonasana. So drawing the chin in towards the chest, round upper, mid, and lower back, forehead or top of the head aiming towards the direction of the toes. We might not be folded down very far, but we're just thinking about stretching the whole back side of the torso, the space in between the shoulder blades. Again, feeling your hips out here. Breathing. Rolling yourself back upright. Drawing your knees in towards your chest. And then spinning all the way around. Going to grab one of your blocks to have nearby. See if you can roll down your spine real slow. Lower back, mid back, upper back, all the way down to lay on your back. And then grab that block as you press into the soles of your feet. Slide it underneath your sacrum. The block can be at whatever height you want, but that bone right above our tailbone beneath our lower back, it's going to create a bit of a supportive shelf as you settle the back of the body down onto that block. Feel free to stay there, or pressing into your feet, you'll start to draw the tailbone up towards the ceiling into a more active bridge pose. Press into your feet. As you activate the glutes more, they're going to naturally open up the thighs and the hips, so adjust the stance of the feet or direction of the toes as you need, and how much you're firming up the back of the body. Work your breath here. You can draw the shoulder blades under the body, coming back down, sacrum on the block, soles of the feet together, knees open. We'll find a bit of an elevated reclining butterfly. You can rock a little bit side to side. If instead you need to be windshield wipering your knees, feel free to do that. And then from here, another bridge pose if you want one. You can work into full wheel. Hug the elbows in after you press through the palms. Hug the shoulder blades down the back of the body and then press up. You can work another supported back bend with the block on the sacrum. The block under the sacrum. Or you can work your restorative or more active back bend instead of your restorative back bend. I'm doing a couple little back bend push-ups here. If you want to lower the head down, squeeze the elbows in, lift back up. You play with the back bend that's appropriate for you here, getting towards the end of your practice, and that wasn't a big super prep practice for back bends. Lower the sacrum back down to the block. Here you might windshield wiper out the knees, or I'm doing knee knock pose. Feet about mat width apart, knees knock in. If you need to windshield wiper out, that's great as well. Just letting the block bear the weight of your sacrum. Feel your breath and your body. And then we'll start to windshield wiper out. A little bit right, a little bit left. Draw the knees in towards the chest here now. Legs up towards the ceiling. We'll find waterfall. We're still supported on that block. You can move the feet a little bit here or the legs a little bit here if you want to. I've placed my hands on my belly, come back in connection to the breath. That might be something that you want to play with here, or focusing your gaze or coming back to your intention for practice. If you want to work towards a plow pose, you might elevate the hips up. What I like to do is take that block and wedge it up just a little bit higher in my lower back. That way I can do a lot less effort. And then I just have a nice slight rounding to my back, not much strain on my neck. Can move around a little bit here. My knees are softly bent, but any variation of an inversion, please make sure your neck feels safe. Don't sacrifice your back or your neck for that. Could still be legs up towards the ceiling. You could still be in a restorative back bend. I'm going to remove the block here and then roll the hips back down to the mat. Once they get down, grabbing the feet, happy baby. You can stay still with it. You can rock around a little bit. Reclining cow face from here. The right thigh will crisscross over the left, and we'll bind opposite hands, opposite feet for just a moment, and then taking a spinal twist. Your left hand can hold on to that right thigh. Just like we started practice, this spinal twist is anything in any way that feels good for you. Allow the back of the body to relax a bit into the mat. You might close your eyes or focus your gaze. Coming back through center, that reclining cow face for just a moment, left thigh over right thigh, opposite hand grabbing onto some part of the opposite leg. You can draw the feet down towards the hips or more towards your face, and then working your spinal twist on the other side. Again, any variation here. Props underneath the shoulders or spine, legs or knees as you need it. Making sure you're feeling grounded on both sides of the body to settle into this twist. Coming back through center. Grabbing a little happy baby action here. Maybe a big hug and squeeze. Forehead in towards your knees. Give some rocks to the spine if you need it. It might still be happy baby work here. And then you're going to grab your props and you're going to start to get set up for your Shavasana. So to finish off our story, we have King Janaka paused, stepping off of his horse. One leg still in a stirrup, leg straight, one knee drawn up. Kind of what does that make us think of? A little bit like elephant trunk now that I think about it. And he stays there for an indefinite amount of time. Some stories it's for thousands of years. And it's in that staying, in the stillness and in the quiet and in the being, that King Janaka discovers the truth of who he is. It's not in all of that searching or trying to ask for the answers from the wise men. It's all about from within himself. And eventually he takes that wisdom, he takes it back to his kingdom. So, making last adjustments that you need to here to be comfortable in your Shavasana. Feel free to support underneath your knees or underneath your head. Allow the back of the body to feel heavy here. Drawing attention to the crown of your head, the skin on your face. down through your shoulders, your arms, all the way through your fingers. Draw awareness to your torso, to your belly, to your hips, down through your legs, all the way through the tips of your toes. Allowing the back of your body to feel heavy and the front of your body to surrender down into that heaviness. Giving up control of your breath. Settling in. Start to bring a little bit more awareness back to your body. You can start to bring little movements back in. Farthest regions, fingers and toes. You can shift the head, neck, hips if you need to. Just starting to move around, reawaken the physical body, rolling off to your right or your left side. Spending a little time there with yourself. And then taking your time, eventually moving up to a seat on your mat. Find a comfortable supported seat, sitting up tall. You can close the eyes or focus the gaze. And maybe just give a little reflection about, all of those times where we try to seek validation or knowledge from the outside. And like we learned in this story, 1, we can't judge a book by its cover. You never know what lies inside someone. And 2, we've got the answers. But can we move into stillness and quiet in order to hear them? Sitting with your attention here. We'll share a deep breath in. Let it go. And thank y'all so much for sharing this practice with me today. Have a wonderful day, y'all.